Hello and welcome to Smooth Traffic, the smoothest automotive podcast out there. I'm Jonny Edge, and joining me once again, famous alphaphile Robert King.
Hello there, listeners.
Interestingly, no Benny Pearce in this episode. He's off somewhere in the countryside enjoying himself because it's his birthday. So we're just going to get straight on and talk about the Frankfurt Motor Show. Big news. Smooth Traffic is going to the Frankfurt Motor Show, and we're getting there in quite a special way indeed. We're going to take a Honda CR-V all the way from Heathrow Airport to Frankfurt on just one tank of fuel. That's right, it's the hashtag One Tank to Frank Challenge. Yep, so it's September, it's the Frankfurt Motor Show, loads of big reveals coming up. Smooth Traffic is going to be there. But anyone who knows me knows that I do not like flying on a plane. So I've come up with an elaborate scheme to get out flying to Frankfurt to cover the motor show. With the help of Rob, I'm going to drive from Heathrow Airport, where I'd normally go from, all the way to Frankfurt, hopefully on just one tank of fuel. Rob, is it even going to be possible?
Absolutely, Jonny. I'm confident beyond all belief.
Well, I'm admiring your confidence, because I'm not too confident at all, but I am very much looking forward to driving the Honda CR-V, because I've heard only good things about it so far.
Yeah, well, let's talk figures for a moment, shall we, John?
Mm-hmm.
Just to give everyone a bit of background on this. So, we'll be travelling from Heathrow to Frankfurt. Heathrow, home of Europe's busiest airport. Frankfurt, home of Europe's third busiest airport.
Thankfully, I'm not going to see either of them.
Exactly. So, for a man like yourself, who doesn't like flying, doesn't like the whole experience, you won't have to deal with all of those people.
Bliss.
What you will have to deal with, though, is 500 miles of other drivers.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting, isn't it, I think?
Absolutely. So, 500 miles. The official figures for fuel economy from Honda say that the CR-V, what have we got? The 1.6 diesel, isn't it, that we're taking four-wheel drive?
Yeah.
That can officially churn out 55.4 miles per gallon.
Which is good for an SUV. I
Absolutely.
say that's pretty good. That's a good figure for a car that is big and heavy, you know?
Yep. Now, the fuel tank in that is a 12-gallon tank. So, some basic maths, which I know are already beyond you, Jonny.
Indeed.
Basic maths means that that gives us 664.8 miles of range with a full tank.
In a lab.
Yes. As we know, fuel economy for any car, the official figures, never truly reflect what most vehicles will actually do. So, I've been having a look round just to see sort of what kind of reports we've got on the so-called sort of real MPG for these cars. Now, I couldn't find anything for the version that we've got, but generally speaking, for the Hondas as a brand, most of their vehicles tend to sort of sit between 85 to 95% of official figures. So, you know, they tend to be pretty close to the economy that the company actually say they'll manage.
Yeah, I'd say that was pretty good. That's something the BMW i8 can only dream of. So yeah, I'd say that's pretty good.
So, on that basis, I've gone conservative, and based on 85% of that 55.4 mile per gallon figure, that would bring our range down to 565 miles. Now, obviously, on paper, a lot of people will say, 65 miles, that's plenty. You've got fuel in the tank, quite literally. But, obviously, it's not going to be smooth driving all the way. When have you ever been anywhere where you haven't had any kind of traffic or some form of...
roadworks, accidents.
Exactly.
Pedestrians. It could be anything, couldn't it?
Absolutely. Obviously, we'll be getting the ferry from Calais to Dunkirk. Obviously, getting on and off the ferry, that could be a very disjointed sort of process. So, you know, a lot of stop-starting there.
Yeah.
We will be travelling past a number of sort of large cities. Obviously, first and foremost, London. So the M25. I mean, that's just...
I actually can't say on air what I think of the M25 because I'm pretty sure we wouldn't ever get any listeners ever again.
Yeah, so that's the figures. Personally, I feel that we can do it comfortably. I think, although it's, you know, we've worked out about 65 miles extra on paper, I think it'll probably be a little bit more than that. I think we'll be quite comfortable. You don't share my enthusiasm, though, do you, John?
No, I've got to say I'm a little bit worried about this. I have a feeling we might just do it, but I'm also at the same... I think it's going to be 50-50. I really do think it's going to be touch and go, this. So we're just going to have to try and see. As far as I know, nobody else has actually attempted this in the new CR-V with the new 1.6 litre diesel engine. So we're sort of pioneers, Rob. We're brave pioneers going out there and attempting it in the first place, and it's touch and go whether we can do it, but all the great pioneers have to worry about that kind of thing, don't they?
Absolutely. And only time will tell.
Now, obviously, the Frankfurt Motor Show is a really, really huge event. There's lots and lots to see. We've got the Honda 2+4 concept that's going to be there, the new sort of aerial atom BAC mono Honda. We've got the new Audi A4. We've got the Infiniti Q30, Seat Ibiza Cupra, the Smart 42, even the Renault Talisman, which is only going to be sold in France. But there's a few other things. Me and King, we've each picked out 2 cars that we like the look of most that we're just going to talk about. To whet the appetite somewhat. So, King, what are the 2 you've picked out from the Frankfurt Motor Show?
Okay, John. Well, the first one, we spoke briefly about Tesla in episode 1, and we're all fans on this show of what Tesla are doing. But in the same vein, the first car that I'm looking forward to is another electric car. It's the Fractal concept car from Peugeot. It's a very eye-catching car to look at. There's a lot of sort of cool tech that's been implemented into it. And also, Peugeot have described it as being designed by sound. I mean, in terms of the basics, Peugeot have said that the full charge range, 280 miles. So, we're seeing that gradual increase and progression of what the manufacturers can get out of these battery packs. However, the Fractal specifically, just a few sort of innovations and, for want of a better word, goodies that are sort of knocking around in this concept. First of all, the iCockpit, as it's called, which completely surrounds the driver with all manner of heads-up displays, touchscreen loveliness, and also the main part of this is the sound system that Peugeot have come up with, which features what they've dubbed a sub-pack, which is essentially a tactile bass unit built into each seat, which enables all of the passengers, the driver, to not only hear sort of the sound that's coming out of the radio or anything else that's sort of going on, but also to feel it. And everyone will have an adjustable bass switch, which they can obviously set as they see fit.
That could get rather entertaining.
Certainly could. Obviously, from what I've seen, it only controls your own seat though, John, so you can't turn someone else's up unless you're reaching across to play with their button.
Yeah, I might try it. Well, things to worry about if it goes into production and all that,
Yeah, the other thing that sort of made it stand out to me is that apparently more than 80% of the interior has been pieced together of components that have been made by 3D printing.
That's pretty cool, because I mean 3D printing is the future of, well, manufacturing, so that's quite an interesting claim they've made. I'd
be interested to see how cost effective it is at this stage, certainly. But no, impressive innovation, impressive looking car.
It actually, I've got to say, it does look really, really good. I've had a little look at the pictures and it does look great. But it doesn't look as great as another one of France's offerings, the Citroen Cactus M. Now, Rob, I know that you don't really like the standard Citroen Cactus that we have in production running across our streets at the moment, but have you seen the Citroen Cactus M yet?
I have seen a picture. I can honestly say that it looks better than the standard Cactus.
Ah, see, it's winning you over. So this is
somewhat.
This is the Surf Cactus. So we've got surf styling, no roof. So you can put a surfboard across the top. The roof is there, but it's inflatable. It needs a compressor to inflate it. So the car doubles up as a tent because the load bay at the back expands. You can sleep 2 people inside it. So it's really kind of got an adventurous philosophy behind it. The other things it's got, somewhat strangely, an interior you can hose down. Now, let's just maybe leave most of that to the imagination. Wetsuit material, seats and things like that. Also, interestingly, on the back, there's no back doors to open. So to get into the back seats, you have to climb in. So Citroen have attached a couple of holes into the bodywork at the back that probably best described as stirrups for people to leap into the back. All in all, it looks really, really cool. I don't think we're going to see it make production yet, but there is a case to be made for sort of these convertible crossovers. The Range Rover Evoque has been testing as a convertible recently, and that's not too far away. Apparently people are going mad for that, according to some Land Rover dealers. So I think we might see a Citroen Cactus convertible at some point. Whether it will be quite like this, I don't know.
Okay, moving on to my second pick of the show, as it were, Johnny. I'd just like to take us back in time very briefly, just to set the scene for this one.
Okay.
We're not going back too far, just to the 24th of June this year. It was the 105th anniversary of Alfa Romeo. They reopened their museum, They launched the restyled logo and their new slogan, the mechanics of emotion. Andrea Bocelli performed Nessun Dorma, and they unveiled the new Giulia.
Emotion. My heart's beating more already, Kingy.
Well, obviously this is the sort of follow-up to the 159, the successor, as it were. But obviously this is being aimed at a direct competitor to those motoring juggernauts from Germany. The 3 Series, the C-Class, the Audi A4.
New Jaguar XE as well.
Yes, the XE as well, absolutely. But this one, it's particularly exciting from my perspective, being a bit of an Alfista myself. Obviously, so far, the only details released relate purely to the Quadrifoglio, or the Cloverleaf, which is the top of the range, sort of almost sports edition, if you will. Now, Alfa are really pushing innovation and obviously passion with the launch. Just a couple of things to sort of pick out with the Cloverleaf. It's got a 3-litre bi-turbo V6 engine, which has been developed by Ferrari, and is apparently very closely related to the V8 that's in the Ferrari 488. Now, this churns out 503 brake horsepower and can go from 0 to 62 in 3.9 seconds.
Oh, that's flipping quick.
Which, obviously, it blows its competitors out of the water. Now, unusually it's a rear-wheel drive rather than a front-wheel drive, which obviously Alfa have favoured in recent years. What they're particularly proud of is what they say is a perfect 50-50 weight distribution, which they've achieved by using a lot of carbon fibre, including the drive shaft, and also extensive use of aluminium in the key mechanical components, prominently the engine, the suspension, and it's also the only saloon car in the world that's equipped with an active aero front splitter. Obviously, everyone wants a front splitter on their saloon.
Well, it's shaping up to be incredibly expensive. From the sound of all these parts, it sounds like it's going to cost you an absolute bomb. But my God, does it look good in some of the pictures I've seen of it so far? And I really hope it's as good as what it sounds on paper.
Absolutely, it's a lovely looking car. Just one more thing to pick out: Alfa's new torque vectoring, which basically gives the rear diff individual control of the torque it can deliver to each of the rear wheels. So obviously this is intended for sort of rapid response, stability, regardless of the road surface. But what that means is there is potential for 100% of the car's torque to be delivered to a single wheel at one time.
Well, I'll tell you what I'll say about that. If anyone out there drives a new Giulia Cloverleaf when it's out and can prove they've actually sent 100% of the torque to one wheel, I will give them a Smooth Traffic Big Balls Award, because the angle you'll have to do to get 100% onto one wheel will be insane, and they just deserve an award, basically. I'm going to move on.
I'll give them a Mars bar as well.
Yes, you give them a Mars bar. That's not a bad prize. I'm tempted to have a go myself. Moving on from the Giulia, I've gone just a completely different direction. You've gone for sporty, sex appeal, all of that kind of thing. I've gone for a pickup truck. But, and it kind of carries on from the theme of the pickup truck we had in the last episode with the Mitsubishi L200. This one is a concept. It's the Renault Alaskan, and I've got to say, it looks fantastic for a pickup. Beautiful styling. The rumour is this will go into production within 2 years, and it may well have the 2.3 litre diesel engine that it features in some of Renault's commercial vehicles. If you haven't, anyone listening to this, if you haven't seen it yet, go and have a search on Google. Have a look for the Renault Alaskan concept. It looks fantastic. I think that could be a bit of a hit of the show, actually. Yeah,
I've seen a few pictures of it, and I've got to say, as I said in the last episode, not a big fan of pickups, but it is a very, very stunning car to look at. If I ever go down the pickup route, who's to say that the Renault Alaskan won't be the one that I pick?
And you may well as well, because the pickup truck segment at the moment is just a blossoming segment. Mercedes are getting involved. Another pickup truck's going to be at the Frankfurt show, the new Nissan Navara. That's going to be there as well. So you've got Mercedes, Nissan. The L200 is obviously leading the way at the moment. So the pickup truck's really blossoming as a segment at the moment. And as one of my followers on Twitter pointed out the other day, Chris Gil, hello Chris, they're becoming SUV-like, but with real, genuine hauling capability as well, which a lot of people are going to find very appealing. So it's going to be really interesting to see where the pickup segment goes in the next couple of years.
Sure. Well, when Alfa make a pickup, I'll be interested.
Oh, I think everyone will. Right then, well, we've reached the end of this slightly shorter than normal version of Smooth Traffic. If you have any questions at all about the Frankfurt Motor Show and the cars on display there, or the Honda CR-V and the One Tank to Frank Challenge, tweet us at Smooth Traffic, tweet me at the Jonny Edge, tweet Rob at Robert King ESQ, and you can even tweet Ben if you just want to rub it in that he's not there with us, at the face of Ben. Until next time, thank you very much for listening. We'll see you soon.